All right, Yankee fans, let's vent. Let's have our session here, okay? I mentioned we were going to do one, and I want to do one. And we'll talk about, what do we like? What do we not like? And what do we think the Yankees should do at this point? We're about 2 weeks out from the deadline, a little bit more than 2 weeks out from the trading deadline. And it's just been a horrific, run of inconsistent play and unproductive baseball and frustrated uh, players, fans, everybody across the board. So I want to tell you about what I like and what I don't like, and what I think would help make the Yankees a better team at this point, set them up. Now you've seen a lot of my videos that I've done recently. If you haven't, they're in the description below about trades that they should consider and so on. And I know there's been a lot of unpopular moves because I mentioned moving Aaron Judge. But he's the only player on this team right now. He's the most valuable on this team and the one that can extract a huge return. And my logic is he's going to be a free agent after next season. He'll be almost 32 years old. So on the wrong side of 30. And do we really want to go down the road of it, giving a 32-year-old or almost 32-year-old another big money contract? No. I mean, at least I don't. Because it's going to hamstring the Yankees. He's going to become more one-dimensional, and we already have a very expensive DH in Giancarlo Stanton. So what are you going to do with Judge when he becomes Giancarlo Stanton and we still have Giancarlo Stanton? What are you going to do? And again, as much as a lot of us don't like it, they have to stay within the luxury tax threshold constraints every couple of years so they can kind of reset it so that they're not negating their ability to continue to build a team. So, in terms of financial, they need, veterans and controllable players. And moving a guy before he becomes super expensive helps him bring back more controllable players. And again, I talked about the movable players recently, so we don't really have to go to them that much. But what do I like about the Yankees? And number one, I've been spoiled lifetime Yankee fan, so I've been a beneficiary and just been blessed with a lot of good baseball. We all have. And I've been personally fortunate enough to be at a lot of special games. Jim Abbott's no-hitter, David Cohn's perfect game, David Justice's mammoth home run in Game 6 of the 2000 ALCS against the Mariners off Arthur Rose, which helped put them in the World Series. And I remember because I'm in the lower section, Don Mattingly was sitting right behind us in the box, which made it even cooler. I was at their Game 4 clincher in 1999 when they beat the Braves in the World Series when Roger Clemens had his Yankee moment. I was in Game 6 of the World Series in 2009 when they clinched it against the Phillies. I was in the bleachers with all the crazy people. So and just endless other games, lots of playoff games, parades. I was at the World Series game when George Bush threw out the first pitch against the Diamondbacks in 2001. I think it was Game 3, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, a lot of cool baseball. A lot of cool baseball. So that's one thing I'm blessed about. I'm also blessed that they have utilized their financial might to help win a lot and win more frequently than others. And they have, for the most part, spent wisely. But recently, I think that's there's been some more questionable large ticket moves like Jacoby Ellsbury and some other contracts like that. The Giancarlo Stanton contract still, when he's healthy, he's productive, and that's the thing. But he's been unhealthy a little bit more than he's been healthy. So, as much as I'm happy that the Marlins are picking up some of his contract, it's still, it's still going to be a really expensive deal, and he's here for another, I think, 5 or 6 years. So it's not going anywhere unless they somehow find a way to trade him, which I don't see happening. But if they do, they're going to have to eat a chunk of his contract. But if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. So my assumption that he's going to be here for the rest of his career until he's like 38 or 39. So, and hopefully productive through as much of it as possible. But so I'm fortunate for that. Fortunate the Yankees have developed a lot of good position players and a lot of power relievers. Where they lack is developing starting pitching. And they've been just the last starting pitcher that I can remember that when it came through the Yankee system and actually had a good career was Andy Pettitte. And that is, I mean, that's almost 3 decades ago, like 1996, when they won a World Series. I think that was his rookie year. That's 25 years ago, man. Okay, 25 years ago. So I was at that opening day too when he was pitching 1996 in the snow. I was at that one as well. And it's stuff like that that I'm fortunate, and I'm fortunate that to be part of a community with a lot of knowledgeable, passionate, feisty fans. I feel like the Yankee fan community is a community unlike any other community out there. I really do feel that way. And baseball teams have their fans, their diehards, but the Yankee community is a different. To me, it's a special family, and love them, hate them, doesn't matter. You'll always know where you stand, and you'll always know where they stand, and that's one thing I've always grown to love and appreciate. So, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all that type of attitude I get in this channel. Throughout the videos, the feedback I get, and the dialogue I get with people. And again, sometimes have to call out people for being disrespectful, but that happens on other channels too. So, as long as we keep it as long as we're cool with each other, we can have dialogue. I don't care if we disagree and agree. That's just going to happen. That's part of life. It's part of baseball. It's part of being a damn Yankee fan. We love our team more than we hate other teams. Period. I don't waste my time hating other teams. It's pointless. So, those are the things that I really love. The things that I don't like is, for some reason, the Yankees have been horrifically inefficient in building a lineup. They have a stadium designed for left-handed power hitters, and they hardly have any of them. It's a right-handed machine there, and reliant on the home run, but there's no hit and run, there's no base stealing, there's no running guys. There's so much that's not happening in the Yankee world on this team that should be happening, and the fact that they're not really displaying a sense of urgency to fix that is something that I don't like. It's something that frustrates me, and it frustrates a lot of Yankee fans. And again, at least with regards to my videos, I try to keep a even-keeled logic and mentality here, but we do have emotional, we get upset, we get frustrated, so there are some times where you just, we want this guy gone, we want this one. I get it. I get that. I've done it too. But at the same time, at least I try to keep the videos here to be even keeled so that everybody can have their say. And I try to respond to everybody too. So that's another thing I'm grateful for too. But in terms of what I don't like, again, it's just the reluctance of Hal Steinbrenner to kind of step up and acknowledge the inability or reluctance of Brian Cashman to do the same. I'd rather get more production instead of lip service from both of them. So, but then again, he's not George. Hal's not George, and he'll never be George. George was special. He made some buffoonish moves, and obviously he got himself into trouble, but you always knew that he loved his team, and he would do anything he could to make it better. And no matter what it is. And Cashman's shown that too. But he still has made some bad moves as well. But more good than bad. But so those are things that I really, really, like and don't like about this team. And it's kind of be general. I'm guessing it's going to be generalized across the board. But, and I think the Yankees need to develop their pitching, scouting, pitching development, scouting, and other coaching areas. I think there's a lot to be desired there, and I think that's where they need to really make significant improvements in the way that the Rays and the Dodgers and the Red Sox and a lot of these other teams have done, the Astros. Because the fact is, too, this is the one thing that really drives me nuts, is all these good teams pick in the back of the rounds every year in the draft. The Yankees are one of them. So are the Red Sox, the Astros, the Dodgers, all these teams. But their prospects, for the most part, especially pitching, turn out to be a lot better than the Yankees' prospects. And that tells me that something's going on or not going on in player development and scouting and all that stuff. So I think that needs to be really, really, really evaluated and improved. And particularly in the starting pitching front. They need more. They need some people to come through the system, man. They really do. And they need to be able to keep people healthy. I still understand why, some guys you'll pull a muscle and you'll be out for 8 weeks. It's just, it's just hard to fathom. As a former competitive athlete, I'm still an avid martial artist, and and I do movements everywhere, split kicks and all this stuff, and I've torn my hamstring and I've broken stuff, and I don't get signed. Even torn hamstring, I'm mobile in a couple of weeks. I'm not out for 3-4 months. It's just I know how to rehab and get better and so on. I guess tears are different to pulls and sprains and blah blah blah. But sometimes I don't understand how easy it is. Is their warm up routine not effective? Are they not staying loose throughout the I don't know what it is, but that's where the training and all these other things need to be, I think, enhanced. So what I think they need to do, I talked about moves already with regards to moving certain players. They have an opportunity this offseason or this deadline to move a couple of guys who can extract a lot of value back. And this is their one opportunity. It hasn't presented itself in a long time, which is why I suggested the unpopular move of trading Judge. He can bring back a haul, and you can use some of that haul to address other needs. There's too many holes, and there's no way the Yankees are going to address them without blowing past the threshold. And I know Hal Steinbrenner said they're willing to go over it, but I don't believe the guy. And the fact is, you're not going to bring in one moderately priced guy that's going to put him over the threshold by a little bit. That's going to make a huge difference, at least in my opinion. Now, it has happened before. Under the radar trades have made huge impacts, and blockbusters have not. I get that too, but the Yankees are way too far away from beating the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants, and they struggle against the big teams right now, big time. I'm happy that they won the first game against the the Astros, and I hope they continue to beat them. But in a playoff series, I'm not confident at all because there's too many holes on the Yankees team, way too many, and they're not designed to. They're doing a terrible job of hitting right-handed pitchers, especially hard-throwing young ones. So they're much better hitting lefties than they are righties. So that's something that I think needs to be worked on, and they need more pitching depth beyond Garrett Cole. And there's a lot of things that they need to do. And again, look at my specific trades. They're down below, all that stuff. But the Yankees need to buy and sell, and they need to not be afraid to make moves and be bold and acknowledge, make some unpopular moves. Talking about trading Judge is almost akin to me talking about trading Don Mattingly when he was in his prime in the early 90s or late 80s. It's that type of unpopular move. And just like it was unpopular that the Red Sox traded Mookie, but it's turned out better for them. Okay? Both sides won. And I say this a lot too, is both sides needs to feel like both sides are giving up something significant here in any blockbuster trade. So that's why I don't make these ridiculous one-sided trades. That's why I generally have the Yankees giving back more instead of less. I don't see the point in giving these lopsided trades at the Yankees that it's never going to pan out. The Yankees aren't giving enough; they're getting all this shit in return. I don't do that, okay? And you know that. I'd rather have them give up more, and then Brian Cashman show us that he can get these players that he wants for less. Let him show us that he's that good of a GM. That's that prove us wrong thing. That's why I always have the Yankees giving a pretty generous return in trades, and it's the Yankees, so teams always ask for more for the Yankees than they do everybody else. So that's also a fact that it's just part of the reality in baseball. So, but these are the things. This is my getting it off my chest, what I like, what I don't like, what the Yankees need to do. The Yankees need to become more athletic, more versatile. They need one or two switch hitters. They need some more speed. I like that they brought in Tim LaCastro as an under the radar move, but I think the stuff that he brings to the table, hustle and speed, and just good old hustle play, is something that the Yankees haven't had for a while, and they need more of. They need more of. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in Adam Eaton as another guy who's kind of hustle. He's got speed, and he's another option. But it's like Brett Gardner, every now and then he kind of gives you a reason to not want him released. Like today, he accounted for, he had the 2-run double, him and DJ with it only runs. And I didn't expect it, but every day you want the guy to move on, he gets a big hit. And it's like, oh my God, at some point, that's just the way I've seen Brett Gardner recently. But I don't think, I think this should be his last year with the Yankees, and I think they need to move in another direction. They need to get younger, more athletic, and it is what it is. So give him his day, retire his number, and and move on. And move on and say thank you, Brett. Really, thank you. But that's my kind of state of the Yankees, my getting it off my chest. And again, I want the Yankees to be good, but I want them to be good consistently. I don't want them to have to go every year or every other year to have to, bring in these patchwork guys in and have to go back and do it again. That's why Ketel Martes or Brian Reynolds and guys like that are valuable, because there's so much team control. They don't have to worry about that position solidified for a long time. So, and the Yankees don't have a lot of those guys. So, and again, the successful teams have combinations of the two. So, that's where I think the Yankees need, where they're at and where they need to be. Let me know what you think. Let's go over 3 things. What do you not like? What do you like? And what do you think that they should do? If you have any specific trades, put them in the comments, and let's talk about it. Let's see what everybody's thinking. Okay, let's be cool with each other. Okay, but let's have our little venting session here, because we do love our team, but we're also frustrated. And I know people want Judge Moo. People don't want Judge. People want Timms and Cashman and Boone fired, but if for some reason it's not happening or whatever, we just don't know some of the stuff in the background. I don't like speculating. I'm kind of observe what I see, but all the trades that I talk about in videos, I research team needs on both sides. So I try to keep it as even keel as possible. So again, it's a negotiating point that they can maneuver from. So that's kind of how I lay out the logic of my trades. I don't just say the Yankees are going to go trade Aaron Judge and get Mike Trout. It's never going to happen. Never. They wouldn't even give the Yankees Ohtani for Mike Trout. So let's live on planet Earth here. Okay? As much as I would like it, but there's no way. No way. Ohtani is right now better than Judge. Okay? And he is right now. He's kind of the best player, I think, in baseball right now, until Mike Trout comes back and improves otherwise. But that's just my opinion. Judge is elite, superstar, but has trouble staying healthy, and that's why I would move him and extract the haul. And the Yankees should be getting in the habit of paying people on the right side of 25 to 30 instead of the wrong side of 30 to 35. Extract those years, get them all, and then let them move on or trade them when they have a year and a half of control left, and let somebody else pay them the big contract on the wrong side of 30. The Yankees do that far too often. Far too often. So maybe get in the habit of taking advantage of opportunities to sell high. And there's quite a few guys that they can sell high on. I've mentioned them recently. So, let's keep having a dialogue about it. Let's keep doing this, because it's not only helpful, but you never know. Somebody might get an idea. Somebody. And they might make some trades, that we've actually mentioned, which is kind of cool when they do. But I appreciate you all watching. Give me your feedback. Let's hash this baby out. Go Yankees.